Okay, testing. Can you hear me? If you can, please just type, yes, we can hear you. Not sure what that was. Yes, so I can be heard. That's excellent. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Hawthorne Arts live stream. Today is all about you guys who had you got your GCSE results today, and really we're just interested in hearing, whether you're happy with your results, how you got on, if you've got any questions about maybe what you should do next or what you can do now, or any questions about the entire process, or just to chill and maybe brag about your results or lament them if you're not happy with them, or just tell us what your next plans are. So feel free to get started. The chat is right there. Ask away. Hi there, Taser. Hi there, Joshua. Did you guys get your results today? How did you do? Were you happy with them? Yeah, for now. Be patient. I think a lot of people might be celebrating as well, because this live stream is a bit later than the last one. The last one was about 11 o'clock, I think. And to be fair, because there's still so many questions going around, because the government was still still hadn't confirmed some stuff, whereas now it's a lot more certain. So I don't think people necessarily need it as much. You're in year 10 going to year 11. So did you take any exams this year, or are all the exams going to come next year? That's to you, Joshua. That's a wonky face. Let's space this out a bit more. There we go. Yeah, you can have high hopes from us. Keep working at that rate that you're working at now, and pinpoint those sections which you need to improve, and hopefully next year you'll be on the way to a very good grade. Hi, Bloomy. 9 in maths. Excellent. How about your other subjects? How'd you do in those? Ed, well done. So there you go. All that worry was for nothing. In the end, you end up with a nice solid set of grades. You happy with those? BTEC subjects. Ooh. Well, I think I did do a video on how BTECs are changing, and it doesn't look like there's going to be that much change to them next year, Joshua. So Yeah, I know that you would have probably preferred to have done it this year, but it's not the end of the world. You get another chance. So, what are your next steps? Those of you who got good grades this year, or didn't get good grades, those of you who got your grades this year, what's your next steps? A lot of 6s, but I may have to appeal for science. So I got a 7.6, but I needed a 7.7. Okay, so did you not get into the place that you want to go next? Because you said you needed a 7.7. Pretty sure put this on another layer. Let's put this on another layer. I'm here. You said that your drama had been moderated, so you assumed it went up. No problem, Ed. When you say moderated, do you mean moderated by the school itself or by someone else? Going to sixth form. Good. You got only A's and B's. What subjects are you taking to be in A's and B's? Or is that from A levels from last week? We're talking about 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, and 9s here. Or is it different in different parts of the country? In different parts of the union? When are year 11s getting BTEC results? No idea. To be honest, after I put up the video yesterday, I just stopped reading stuff. I wrote the video which went up yesterday. I wrote about BTECs. I wrote that on Tuesday night, filmed it Wednesday morning, and then did not touch any news at all for the rest of the day. So I know that when I went to watch the news later on that night, they had already updated the stuff on BTECs. So yeah, I'm a bit out of the loop at the moment with what's happening. Because to be honest, I'm just tired. I never thought I'd pump out that many videos in such a short amount of time. It's a drama post-modification. I'm not sure what that means though, Ed. Did you double check what that meant with your school? Who moderated it exactly? That is right, Joshua. I teach art and photography. What should we do about the hair? Fair enough, Ed. Fair enough, Ed. That's nice of you, actually. Thinking about your teachers. So, guys, I had a quick browse through Twitter, and I'd like to get your opinion on this. Quite a few people, no doubt older than you, so these are full grown adults, are complaining about the reliability of your results. What's your opinion on that? Yeah, I can imagine so. I know I definitely was happy to see my students after such a long time. To be honest, but once I saw them, it felt like I'd never left school. Like it was only yesterday that I was back there teaching. 4 A stars, 3 A's and 1 C. Well done, Rima, good job. Can somebody tell me why some of you are getting A's and B's? Which system still uses A's and B's? A's, B's and C's? Because it's confusing me a bit. In a minute, I also want to talk about the about some terms which I think are being slightly misunderstood, and I think that I myself have personally might have contributed to the misunderstanding of. Okay, I feel like higher grades this year have been devalued. You think I've been devalued? Okay. Now, Ed, in response to it being devalued, personally, I don't think they will be devalued. One reason being, I think after this is all blown over, most people won't even remember half of this that happened. So when someone says, "Oh yeah, my GCSEs are from 2020," in about 2 years' time, people will be like, "Yeah, and?" I don't think anyone will care. And when it comes to devaluing, who is devaluing it? That's the question. Because surely, if universities devalue it, their educational system as well. So if they devalue it, doesn't that mean that they devalue teachers which they themselves put into the world? They themselves train. So they can't devalue it, otherwise they undermine the entire education system and their own teaching. And when it comes to employers devaluing it, well, the question then remains: how much do employers actually care about grades? Because I've heard a fair amount of employers saying, once you've passed, we mostly care about your higher attainment, so the stuff that you do post sort of GCSE. But I can understand why you think that they were devalued. Rima, it was numbers, but I have just converted it, so you don't have to. I don't convert them anymore. I haven't converted. I came up through the education system just as they were changing it, so I don't need to convert it. I literally see a 1 as a 1 and 2 as a 2 and so on all the way up. So yeah, and I would advise against converting it because they don't convert exactly. Some, for example, C's and B's and A's, they cross over multiple grade boundaries. There's no equivalency, so a 6 isn't necessarily, a 5 isn't necessarily just a C, if that makes sense. It doesn't quite work like that. 8 is an A star and 9 is an A star star. Yeah, that tends to be how it tends to work for him. Wait, these are going quite fast. Joshua, you said that the government did all they could. The system has to be fair. They did all they could after they cancelled the exams. By the end, that is. I think they were right to try an algorithm. They were definitely right to try an algorithm. And I think that they were right to go back on the algorithm once they saw that the trends messed it up, so we're a bit of a mess. But when it comes down to it, as some people, Mahia, who I think is here, me and her had a little comment discussion about the whole, in the comments of one of the videos, about how we maybe the exams could have been sat just really, really spaced out. So maybe it was a little bit of a, maybe there could have been another way to do it, but it's all easy saying it in hindsight now. That's super easy. But at the time, it seemed like the best decision to cancel them completely. So you can't complain. I wanted to ask, since we got CAGs after the U-turn, did they consider the rank order, or was it just straight CAGs? I can't comment on that rumour. I can't. Yeah, that might be one that you put to your teachers. Teachers who overpredict their students, who are stopping them predicting 9s to all their students. According to the system that was put up, first of all, actually, this brings up to this brings us to a point I want to make about terminology and semantics. Throughout this whole thing, I've been referring to them a lot as the teacher assessed grades or teacher assigned grades, and saying that your teachers assign them, and even saying, and saying that, when it's not as simple as that. They are center assessed grades, and there's a reason why they're called center assessed grades. I just used it because, to me, a school is made up of teachers, primarily teachers and students. Without the teachers are a major part of the center, so I did say teachers, but the key is on center. If you do look at the guidelines put up by the government, it's not down to just one teacher. There's whole systems which would have been put in place. So even though, because of course I can't go into exactly how things are assessed beyond what the government have put out, and so what might have been what suggestions they said, but even though it might appear that even though you might automatically go, oh, a teacher doesn't like me, or something like that, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. And I would suggest people to maybe go and check how the guidelines that were released to market, and then you'll understand the importance of the fact that they're center assessed grades. It's not just down to individual teachers. So it's that they're center assessed grades, and you'll understand exactly how they graded you and why there's a much higher chance of it being fair and correct than you might initially think, and than people might initially think. It's the things that loads of people go off of headlines, and they don't go off of the actual information, which is why I try to include the links with each video that I did. But yeah, the inflation thing is something that I think might be, even if it does have a slight element of truth to it, I do think that it is a bit of a false understanding of how exactly the government told centres to grade. Next week I'll be getting off-qual ones. What tea? I don't know. I doubt it. I don't see why they would give you the other grades. These are the ones that you were given today are the grades that you've got. Those are your real grades. So there's no need to give you anything else. And Ed, like I said, okay, let me tell you one thing. When it comes to life, your age, the years in which things happen and stuff like that, beyond school, they don't really matter. So if you say you got a grade 9, no one's going to ask, oh, was it in 2020? Nobody really cares. So a grade 9 is a grade 9. it just is what it is. I think you guys are, because you've gone through a school system which is very specific about, in this year this happens, in this year this happens, there's a massive gap between each different year. It gives you the impression that years are very distinctly different, and people care about your age or care about what year you did certain things as you grow up, and they don't, quite honestly speaking. And like I said, a lot of people won't even, when you say 2020, is when you got your grades. It probably won't trigger anything for anyone in a couple of years. And when I say a couple of years, I mean like 2. Oh, these this comment section is moving fast. Let me just scroll back up a bit. An 8 in art. That is super good. Excellent. Brilliant work. An 8 in art is no minor task. No minor achievement. That's a big achievement. Do you need to be a maths to study bio and chem at A level? You need to ask the places that you want to apply to. Hello there. You got all 9s, Ash. You're a star. Brilliant work. 4 in maths, that's good. I can't do it. A level. Oh, sorry that you can't do it. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed. Just understand where you are now and understand your next move. Start planning it. Good advice, Ash. Good advice. What happens when others are doing A levels? Dr. Mo, honestly, don't get caught up on other people. Okay, you leave school, you won't speak to 90% of your year anyway, so it doesn't matter if they're a year ahead of you or anything like that. Just focus on you and what you want to do. Okay. Don't need this here, so I'll remove this. You got your results, Zed. What did you get? Or are you happy with your results? You don't have to tell me what you get. I only came upon hearing about how the teachers' expected grades are the final grades. CAGs are the correct terms. So that's centre assessed grades. Yeah, those are the final grades. Those are the final grades. What happens when I reset and my class move on to A level? Dr. Mo, your class, then those people move on to A level. You won't be the only person to reset. There are loads who reset. You're doing what's best for you. Stop thinking of other people and what they're doing. Life isn't a race like that. This is moving fast again. Scroll up. Okay, I know it has nothing to do with A levels or GCSEs. How do you get Photoshop or any other Adobe software for cheap? I find it a bit expensive. Use the student discount. That's all you can do. There's also other alternatives that you can use to Photoshop. Yeah, that's it. In the end, when it comes down to it, it's specialist equipment that only a few people use. So, and the few people that do use it professionally, it makes them their living. So I understand why they charge so much for it, as annoying as it is. So yeah, either find an alternative or dig around for that. How much is it for you guys? £10, I think, a month for students. What questions you got, Zed? Jessica, you said you got A star in art. What is that exactly? What grade did you get exactly? Use your numbers, please. Dr. Mo, in some cases they do allow for you to do them simultaneously. Some places will allow you to do the subjects that you want to reset while doing your AS levels or A levels subjects. You just need to find the right place for you. Why are we using A stars, B's, and C's? That hasn't been relevant for like 2 years now. It's confusing me. Tell me your numbers, guys. Not if you want to say your grades. Tell me numbers. Don't tell me letters. It doesn't compute with me anymore. You don't think you can reset it? Why can't you reset it? You can't do it. That's because you got 5. Okay. E7. How about going for that autumn series and seeing if you can jump onto the course that you want afterwards. After you get the results for that. You're a student if you go to a school. It's got nothing to do with your age. It's whether you go to an institution or not. Whether you're at an educational institution. Students can be any age. A 99-year-old can be a student as long as he's at an educational institution. If that makes sense. Let me shrink this down a bit. Actually, no, that's not. You're working at grade 6, 7, you've got a 5. You have to take that one up with your school, unfortunately. As a side note, guys, I'm not sure what's happening with the appeal system. Like I said, I've been out of the loop for 2 days now, so I'm not sure what I've updated with. So I'm starting to wonder if you can even appeal anymore. Grade 5 is in graphic design. And what was wrong? And class is incomplete, so I wasn't allowed to take it home. I was hoping for a 7. Can I appeal? Oh, I don't know if you can appeal, as I just said. Yeah, as Ash said. Gemma, it's good to hear that you're happy. Don't feel under pressure to share your results. You don't have to, if you don't want to. We are just strangers on the internet. Ah, you didn't get engineering. Sorry to hear that, Jessica. But that 8 in art, like I said, those aren't easy to come by. So well done. Why am I not using reference? That's why it's looking so weird. Said you got to take that to your teachers. You have to. Did you ask them that when you were there? Don't know what I'm doing now. Just making a mess of it. That was my GCSE, so I don't mind sharing. I got I was back of course in the days of actual letters. So I got, what did I get? 4 A stars, 7 A's, 1 B. B was in French. Ten nines, 2 8s. Adam, you earned the grades. Let's take a minute to speak about this actually. You guys say you don't feel like you've earned the grades. You've worked for 14... Okay, not 14, you're not that old yet. You've worked for 12 years of your life working, learning. You've spent the last 2 working on a specific set of courses. Working, doing your homework, revising, studying, answering up in class, learning all that sort of stuff. And just because a 1 hour element is missing, you don't feel that you earn the grades. So all those thousands of hours don't mean anything. All those nights staying up and doing homework, that doesn't mean anything to you guys. You guys put in the work, that's why you got the grades that you got. Yeah, they might be out slightly for some of you and you might not be happy with it, but you know, to say that you don't feel like you earned it, I think is a disservice to yourself. Mm. 8 in physics, 6 in maths, 7 in engineering. Oh, well done, best gamer. Let's go indeed. 8 in physics, 6 in maths, 7 in engineering, 6 in lit, 4 in language, 5 in French, 7 in geography, and 7 in chemistry, 6 in bio. Those are brilliant. Well done. How many does that take you to where you need to go? Yeah, I understand Ash why it feels weird. I do understand, but hopefully you guys are understanding why I question the need for exams being the only judge of your ability. Now that I've put it into context, just how much work you do before the exams take place and how much work us teachers see you do. Damage, reset that maths if you want to get that 7. If you want, it's up to you. Depends what you want to do. 2 9s and 6 8 grades. Zed, you did good. I know that there's that one grade you're not happy with, but you did good. Don't forget that. FRS, all 9s and 1 8. Good job. Well done. Harjat. Should be fine for Oxford. You wait until 6th form hits you. Connecting GCSEs to university, apart from it being slightly indicative of your work ethic, otherwise, you know, the A levels are, once you get into A levels, you'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. As I don't know how much I've changed since my time, but I know that the step from GCSE to A level was, I noticed it, and it was big. I did think it was big. All right, Ash, well done. All the best. Pass by, because I will still be uploading stuff that will hopefully be useful to you as a A-level student. But yeah, go celebrate. Stranger Things fan. I'm doing my GCSEs in 2 years from now. Hope I do good. I hope you do good as well. Put in the work. You've got time to really get a grip on things. just going to take this out. How much harder is A-levels for AS? You have to ask your classmates about that one. You will have to ask them. That anyone else I can tell you. Because, to be honest, it has been a while since I've, of course, done my exams, so I don't know how much they've changed. I know it did make the GCSEs harder a few years back, so yeah. But most do say that there is a big difficulty gap, or big difficulty jump, I should say. Can you get into Oxbridge if you get A star, A star, A? Depends on the course, depends on how you interview, depends on a whole load of factors. Five 9 6 8. Ooh, good. I'm paying my biology grade though because I don't understand how I can get an 8. And I got an 8 in the mock, and my friend got a 9 despite getting a 7 in the mocks. Okay, fair enough. Did you talk to them about the Did you talk to them about the fact that you want to appeal? What did they say about that? Can you appeal? Go Nando's tonight. Yes, celebrate. Celebrate. FRS Gaming. Stranger Things fan, they want the tips. They want all the knowledge. Got an 8, 3 months of 9. Alright, Zed. By the way, as a thing, so let me just check how high this mic is. Yeah, I think that should be fine. As a thing, just because you are a few months off a 9 doesn't mean that you are a 9, or that you're working at 9, or that you're, well, yeah. Almost a 9 is not a 9. That's what I mean. But your school would have whatever system they have, and I guess through that system they came to the conclusion that no, you're not there, unfortunately. Merge these 2 layers. Did I merge wrong 2 layers? I think I did. Let's merge these 2. I went to do dentistry at university and they asked for around a 7 for maths, GCSE, etc. I got 6. Is this a big problem, or would they not really look at GCSEs because of what happened? Good question, Charlie C. I'm not sure. I would hope so, that universities would take that into account when they're letting you guys in 2 years' time. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And try to see, as for 9 in biology, I'm not sure. It depends. Universities will have the application system that they have, and they're always in flux. So just ask. Honestly, that's it. Just ask. and they can tell you. The admissions department will tell you. You learn how to knit in quarantine. That is a mad skill to have. Very, very useful skill. That's pretty cool. I feel like a lot more people were awarded 9 this year. Then maybe they deserve those 9s. I'm sure that most of them did. Maybe they wouldn't have got a 9 in the test, but if they did work at that level for the whole year, I can show you they deserve it. Let's go a little bit like there. Nope, no. Do that like that. Admissions, university admissions, you literally go to the university website that you want to go to that admissions section or the contact us section, and they will have questions that they'll have people that answer that. Because it's something happening in 2 years, you might want to leave the questioning until after all this noise from the government's recent U-turn, until all that's over. Why is someone kind of gone so close to me? Is this I keep seeing people saying you're still getting your standardized grades next week. Is this true? I don't see why, but is this true? Because I've heard a few people say it now. BTECs, I have no idea. Like I said, I haven't read up on what's happening. All I know is I put out that video yesterday based on what they said, and it seems to have changed in less than a day. Literally within a few hours, it seems to have changed. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see what they do. But they did say that the BTECs would be a little bit late as they adjust the system. Instead of pass merit distinction, you're getting 9 to 1, just like GCSEs. That would be interesting. That'd be very interesting. I need to go do some digging back into BTECs. During my training year, there was one class which I was observing, which I had to observe, or which I was attached to, which was BTEC, but generally speaking, I haven't had much to do with BTECs. Most schools I've been at, the art department has BTEC is not something that I've taught in those. So yeah, I think it's something that I need to look into for my personal practice as a teacher, just to understand and wrap my head around why it's supposed to be so different to your normal qualifications. Aaron, I'm happy that they helped you. That's what they were for, to be honest, because I did feel that either the information was hard to understand, or the newspapers might have been sensationalizing things a bit unnecessarily just to get their views. To be fair, I did sensationalize every now and then with my titles. Can't help it. But yeah, I did try to just make things a bit clearer for you guys, so that you could not feel so stressed and understand what you could do and what you couldn't do, even though it changed constantly, which I still think is amazing. Just how many of my videos became void within a few days of their release because things were fluctuating so rapidly. Please make another vid on BTECs. Zed, by the time that I make, I'm taking a break now because I'm so exhausted from the amount of from pumping out so many videos in such a short amount of time, and having to read so much documents and news articles and stuff and cross-reference them and make sure that I wasn't talking complete nonsense. So I can't promise another BTEC video in time for the news reporting something nice and clear and more succinctly, or before the BTECs come out. So yeah, sorry about that. See, I'm not sure about how appeals are working at the moment because there's been so much fluctuation and change. I'm not up to date at the moment with that, and I'm not sure if they said anything. You still get letter grades in Northern Ireland? Am I allowed to say that you're lucky for that? That I missed the letter grades? 7 A stars and 3 A's. Well done, Aaron. Well done. What are you going to study next year? You watch Netflix for most of quarantine. You feel guilty because school's going to open in a week. Well, now you know what you're going to do. What you got to do. Start getting ready now. Hi, Kieran. What does melt mean? My bids are melt. Do I think there will be GCSEs in 2021? The government are pretty determined for there to be, so are Ofqual, but considering how much they flippy flop, who knows? But yeah, there should be GCSEs in 2021. I've got some videos which outline exactly how GCSEs are changing at the moment. They might change further in the future. Thanks, Forbidden Hero. I think part of the reason for me pumping out so many videos is also because, just like you guys, I was probably feeling stressed and anxious, and so it was a sort of, what can I do in a time like this since I can't do much else? But yeah, now that results have sort of come, I just feel like resting a bit. Resting a bit and preparing for the new school year, which is fast approaching. English Lit, History, Spanish, and Moving Image Arts for A-level. I didn't even know moving image arts was a subject. That's crazy. It sounds so cool. But there's a good set of subjects. To me, it sounds like you want to be going to law. Whenever I see English Lit, History, and a language together, I always think law straight away. Any idea what you want to do afterwards? That's to you, Aaron. Oh, thank you, Kieran. Why do I know that your name's pronounced like that? I think it's because I've taught quite a few Kierans in my time, all different spellings, but there have been a few CIAs, some CIARONs. So I did just put 2 and 2 together. Alright, Shake 8. Where's that Shake? 6'5", needs a 6'6", and my teachers aren't letting me to do my desired course. Alright, so have you asked them about what they advise you do, if that's the case? So any things I want to take: psychology, chemistry, and maths for A-levels. Good set of subjects. Any idea where you want to take those? No harm in playing ahead. Stranger Things fan. Although the plans might change, still no harm in it. Forbidden Hero, Geography, Maths, Physics, and Economics. Good batch. There's loads you can do with that. Loads. Any idea what you want to do after year 13? Biology, Chemistry, Geography, and maybe Geology. Yes. Nice. my channel's grown so much. What have I got planned? Well, I know that there's going to be a slight dip because nothing's going to be as urgent as it was before. I'm probably going to, I don't know, actually no, I'm probably going to put it to you guys what you think I should focus on moving forward. I know I definitely want to go back to doing more art videos and doing more sort of general school support videos. But I don't know. I mean, because I was initially focused on art, I also had, of course, videos on gaming and anime and stuff because they tie in directly with the subject, and understanding those means that you will help you to sort of figure out your career route. But now I know that a lot of you aren't here for that, so yeah, it's a good question. What do you guys want me to do afterwards? Biomass, sociology, psychology, nice. Yeah, Zed, you're right. Loads of people go into loads of different stuff, and I think that's super cool. And good thing that you guys are doing the EPQs. I think it's good that you guys get a chance to look into what sort of stuff interests you and get that extra qualification. Alright, okay, yeah, so it's all about, so recent is your main option for that. French history and drama, nice. Work in a theatre. Ed, that is such a cool idea. Such a cool plan, I mean, for the future. Dentistry related, nice. Dentistry in the third world. In the third world? What do you mean by the third world? You don't use that term anymore. You mean in developing countries? Cool. Well, thank you for being a hero. You're too kind. And I know you say do what you want because of your personality, but the algorithm works in a certain way. So it depends. It depends what I want the channel to be for. Whether I want it to be purely fun or whether I do hope to grow. And I don't know. I'm still trying to weigh that up as well. Is maths considered science? In a way. Sort of. Sort of, but not really. You don't like French? French was my B. I think it can be hard to... Languages can be hard, especially if you... I just think you need the right environment for it. So you need a combination of a teacher that you can really learn from. So not necessarily just a good teacher, but one that you can really learn from, and a class which don't cause problems. I think that was the problem with my French class back when I was in school. Teacher went off sick and the class just went crazy. If you actually want to make money from this, what do you want to do as a hobby? Forbidden Hero. It's always nice to make money. Simply put, why not let it be both? That's how I've always been with my artwork. I don't want it to be my main job necessarily. So if I can get that balance where it can make a little bit of money for the effort that I put in and the electricity that it spent that it consumes, but that I also have fun doing it and don't feel overly pressured to keep spitting out content. Oh, Zed, that's what you meant. You should probably call the university and confirm that. A university and confirm that. In terms of the maths and science and stuff. Yeah, lower income countries, developing countries. Yeah. Well, no, lower income is still not the right term. You mean developing countries or developing areas? Because some areas are developing but mad expensive. So yeah, terms are weird. Usually trying to find the right terms for things. A biology degree, they want a biology and another science. Can I use maths here over, let's say, chem? Ask. I don't know. No, English Bengali and I can read Arabic. Nice. Can't do maths at A-level. Hasn't even got suggestions of other subjects I should consider. It depends what you want to do, Big Bad. And depends what you enjoy and what you're interested in. Oh, Hamid, can you tell us exactly how your appeal system worked? Because I don't know I haven't seen the updated one or the changed one. Marie's anxious in what way? As in, what's making you anxious? And please bear in mind, I'm not a therapist, but I can listen. I can listen and hopefully reassure. Adam A, is that a question to me? Because I'm not telling. So you're anxious just about starting university? The anxiety will leave after the first few days there. Are you staying at home while going there, or are you going to move away entirely? I'm using an art tablet. I'm using a Cintiq 13 HD. You're staying at home? Oh. Then, if you're staying at home, put simply, university is just like school for adults. Simply put. It feels like school. You go there and you do your work, you can hang around. You have more freedom than school because, of course, you're now a full-grown adult with maintenance loan and stuff like that. But otherwise, generally speaking, it's not that different. It's not that similar to school. People are different ages as well, which is fun. And you get to meet people from all over the country. Honestly, try not to worry about it, because just try and say, you know what, I'm going to have a really great time here. And you, trust me, if you approach it right, you can have a really good time. You can really enjoy it. Sasha coming in bringing those good vibes. Well, Sasha, you got a lot of work to do for next year, but hopefully you'll be here next year telling us how amazing your grades were and how happy you are. absolutely astounded by the fact that someone is still cutting their garden. I mean, the gardens around here aren't even big enough for you to cut for over 30 minutes. It's astounding. Charlie C, which teacher told you mocks weren't the real thing or weren't important? Like before the actual mock took place. Marcus Aurelius, do GCSEs really not matter that much, or are people just saying that to make kids feel better? It's hard to say. Put it this way, my CV after I finished university does not have my GCSEs laid out one by one, but I do mention them on there. I do just have a summary basically saying 4-star, 7A's, 1B, including English and maths. That's what I put on my CV. They don't carry the same weight as your later qualifications do, as well as your what's it called? As well as your work experience. But how do you get to A levels? How do you get to college? How do you get to university? How do you get to apprenticeships without your GCSEs? They're part of the path there. So it's hard to say. To me, they have their place. They're important. But as you get older, they sort of become less and less important the older you get and the more experience you get. But they have their place. They have their place. If you don't like your uni course, can you change it after the first week of your first year? You most certainly can. You could change it at any point you want, actually. Take those credits across to the next course. Although how you change Salah does depend, and what you can change to does depend. Try see, yeah, that's right. Depends what you want to do. Try see, your teachers told you that before the exam itself. Whoa. Do you know whether university will be online the first time, or is all the lecture seminars going to be online? I think that's decided by the university. So for that one, you have to wait and see. I have not been paying much attention to this actual drawing. I don't know what to do with this. I don't understand why they gave me lower than my mock. You'll have to take that up with them, AAW. Yeah, I can see why that would be frustrating, but you'll have to take that up with your school, with your centre. How much really change from their mocks? Okay. Alicia's got a question for you guys. Did any of you experience great change from your mocks? Trust me, you're going to enjoy it. It's a lot of work, but you'll enjoy it, especially if you enjoy art and you're not just taking it because you want to. No, and you're not just taking it because it's something to take. If you really love the subject, it's going to be amazing for you. Will the value of high grades become diluted for future GCSE takers now, in your opinion? Nope, this year is a one-off. The system will no doubt be and this is just me giving an opinion, my assumption is that the system they'll make sure that it goes back to a system where a certain amount of people fail, because our society relies on people failing. It needs people to fail, which is a bit twisted, but it's just how they want our society to work. Some people fail, some people pass, so that the status quo can be upheld. Stranger Things fan, I'm not surprised that you can't wait for Stranger Things season 4 simply from your username. Alright, how should I decide what A level to pick? Study with me. I thought you would have had a good idea already. If you still can't decide, then I don't know. Think about what you're good at. Think about what you want to be and what you need to get there. What you enjoy. Things like that. That will help you. Yeah, good advice, Marcus. It's all about that end goal. Because I knew for me, initially I wanted to be. I decided mine based on because of course I got, generally speaking, good grades. I got A's in everything apart from French. So I decided my A levels based on what I enjoyed and what I wanted to be. So I chose maths, art, critical thinking, physics, and history. Okay, I enjoyed all of those subjects apart from maths. I didn't enjoy maths much, but I knew that I needed it because I wanted to go into architecture initially, or I saw architecture as one of my options. I also had an interest in physics as well, and was thinking of maybe even studying physics at university. But because of that, I made sure to put art in there. Why do I keep saying art? I made sure to put maths in there. So it's just weighing up practicality and what you want your end goal to be, along with what you enjoy and you know that you'll excel at. Do you know I can know more about programming because I am trying to teach myself? Okay. What does a 7 equate to in letters? 7 is an A in letters. Although, once again, try not to think too much in letters because that's outdated and it's gone. And letters don't match up perfectly with the numbers. Good job, AA. Oops. Person finally stopped cutting that grass. It only took them like an hour. Seven does not equate to a high B. It really doesn't. Sabor. Long time no speak indeed. Yeah, I did take A-level physics. And I enjoyed it. It's just that when it came to the maths parts, I wasn't too keen on them. So, and then once I got my place at uni, because I knew that I could definitely hit those requirements, I think it took some of the push out of me, if that makes sense. some of the energy and motivation because I knew that I could hit them by sort of doing the bare minimum. But yeah, can't remember what grade I got in it. Need to go back and check. If you fail a module at uni, what happens? I actually don't know because I've never failed a module at uni. So it never came into my mind. I think you can reset modules at university. What do I think about the US grading system? They have a GPA based on their classwork and minimal regular tests and SATs on top of that. That actually sounds like a pretty solid system, to be fair. But I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'd have to look into it. I know there's certain stuff about the US educational system that I have a problem with, but the grading system I haven't really looked into. Adam, stop asking that. I'm not saying, because I don't think it's important. Not because I'm trying to hide anything, but I literally just do not think it's important. Thank you, Sabor. Excellent answer. Alright, so there you go. If you fail a module, you can resit it, or even resit an entire year. You can also take breaks in years, which is what I did for my teaching course. I took a break because stuff was happening that required me to. So yeah, you can pause your courses and restart them within a certain amount of time. Is it possible to get into unis with like Imperial with 4 9s, 3 8s and 3 7s? I would think so, but things change. Your A levels are what are going to interest them a bit more though, especially if you're racking up mostly 8s and 9s. Hi there, Jenna. Yeah, got GCSE art result and got a 5. Okay, well done, Cookie. That's still a good grade. If you don't stay in education after GCSEs, what happens? Like, is there a law that you must stay until 18? I can't remember the exact law. I'm sure you're supposed to stay in some sort of full-time educational environment, whether it be apprenticeship, college, or something like that. But that's one that you have to look up yourself. To be fair though, I do think that stopping education at 16 would be a major risk. You should get some sort of qualification of some sort post 16, and by that I'm talking like whether it be being an electrician, a plumber, a nursery nurse or childminder or anything like that. I think you should definitely get something afterwards. Yeah, see, Marcus is bringing all the facts. You're better equipped than me today, Marcus. It's a strange thing because when you go through the system that is sort of encouraged and is sort of sold to us in school, which is you go to school, you go to high school, you go to sixth form, then you go to university, then you go to work. That's the one that is sold as sort of the what is the way to be successful in inverted commas. They keep selling that, And because I went through that system, I don't know much other systems because they didn't give us another option in my school anyway. They didn't give us another option back when I was deciding. They weren't even too keen on the fact that I was taking art. They didn't have much to support us in that case at that time. They had a bit, but not much, because it wasn't what they were trying to sell, because it's not what society was pushing at the time as the means of being what they would consider successful, if that makes sense. Not only is it illegal, it's also a bad decision. People can make their own decisions, but not all decisions are good. Simply put, I could decide to run in traffic, but it's not a good decision. Thank you, Cookie. Do you have any jobs that I could use skills that I've gained from Adobe Photoshop? The list is so massive. The list is massive. It's simply for any art or graphic based job links directly to Photoshop. So any art or graphic based job, and that ranges from animation to design to gaming to web design to it's to photography. It just goes everywhere. Even marketing goes into. Pedro movie, I'm not sure, because they're changing stuff all the time. So a lot of the videos that I've made on Opinion are outdated now. So you have to ask your teachers about how that appeal system will work. What route did I go through Humble Heroics? I can tell you again. So I went to school, stayed at that school to secondary school. It was a grammar school, and I stayed at that school for sixth form. And then after sixth form, I went to university to study fine art. Now, what I should have done is done a foundation course first, but because they were raising the price of university, I decided to go straight to the course, and they let me on, which is fairly uncommon. And they let me on without that foundation year. So I did my course, and afterwards, at the end, I decided that I didn't really want to work in the art industry after getting a taste of it from my freelance work. And so I went and did teachers training for a year. Paid for the updated price for that though, so that was full 9,000. So my one teacher's training year cost the same amount as my entire 3-year degree. But yeah, after that I became a teacher, and that was that. Oh, and the teaching route that I took was what is it called again? Schools Direct. The council of the area had more power over me than the university did. Why are most of further education college courses dead? Like, is it for people who fail their GCSEs, like level 1 BTECs? This is the thing. This is part of the a part of misinformation that we've been sold. There is this sort of, I don't want to call it a rumour, but this sort of untruth that goes around that if you're in college, you're therefore not as successful or not as smart or not as capable as someone who is in a sixth form or something like that, or is going to university, and it's just not the case. It's not the case. Different forms of education suit different people better, and alongside that, different careers require different qualifications gained at different places. So yeah, don't think too much necessarily about the place, the institution, unless you completely hate it. Think more about where it's going to get you, because there's more than enough people who go to colleges who earn way more than people that went to universities. or went to sixth forms. Happiness, I am very happy for you. Well done on passing all your exams. Computing, physics and maths. You'll be mentally obliterated, yeah, but depending on what job you're going to, you could have a very interesting and possibly very profitable future in terms of money, that is, because they're looking for coders, they're looking for mathematicians. Those sorts of people are in high demand right now. Yeah, the BTECs, it looks like they're going to be late. HA. Oh, I'm heroic, you're a teacher. Schools, straight to the classroom in a sense. The schools direct course that I was on, I spent one less day at a few less weeks. Not a lot, but maybe 1 or 2 less weeks at uni, and one less day a week at school. One less day a week at uni than the people who were university centered. But for the most part, I spent a good amount of time in university. Training to be a teacher was still one of the hardest. No, it is the hardest qualification I've ever done. It is, and I hope that they've changed the way that it's done, because I don't. Since I've been there, because I think it was very, very hard. We didn't even use computers for the written parts of it. Everything was kept in physical folders, which we had to lug around, and that was literally 6 years ago, so it wasn't even that long ago. But hopefully they've gotten a bit more up to date now. Alright guys, so I'm going to give it 5 more minutes. 5 or 6 more minutes, and then I'm going to head off. Any more questions? General questions? Since I think we've answered most of the ones related to today's grades. Alright. Good, I think everyone's good. So, thanks everybody for passing by, and well done, because so many of you got really amazing grades. I know that some of you might have missed out by 1 or 2, but overall you guys did really good. And even just getting through this, you guys did good, because this is not normal circumstance. Any advice for an NQT? Okay, let's finish on this note. For an NQT, my advice is learn from as many people as you can at the place that you're at. Feel free to keep acting like a student, so to pop into classes, other people's classes, or ask, can I observe you? Because honestly, you just want to learn as much as possible, and recognise that it gets easier year after year after year. NQT years can be tough and can be a bit overwhelming, but once you're in and you understand everything, it's all uphill from there. But NQTs and how NQTs are treated and used does change from school to school, of course, because different schools run differently. But enjoy being an NQT and not being a student teacher anymore. I'll say that, because the difference, you'll notice it straight away. The Terminator, you finished 6th form and you've got 2 level 3 qualifications. What is next? Don't want to sound like I'm putting you down, but I would have hoped that you would have had your next plan sort of in mind before this school year had finished. Yeah, just go and see what's out there. See what you can do with the qualifications that you've got. Okay. So, thanks everyone for turning up. that is all for today. And yeah, thanks for sticking with us through this entire thing. And thanks for all your kind messages saying that you found my videos useful over this whole period. Hopefully you'll stick around and still continue to watch my videos, even though things are going to calm down a bit, and I'll be putting out a bit, maybe slightly different content, or content that might not necessarily apply directly to all of you anymore. But yeah, it's been through all the ups and downs, it's been pretty great. So thanks, and that's all for today. Until next time.